Hello to all of you moms out there. This is episode 26 of the Solve for Mom podcast. I'm your host, Anoki Kapasi. Does it feel like every time you try to set goals for yourself, something or the other interrupts you? I mean, it could be sickness, or there's another meltdown, or just that mental load of having to manage everything. Well, we all have goals. Yes, we're moms, and we do prioritize our families. We also have those big dreams. And we might even have some less ambitious goals, like managing our homes or trying to take care of ourselves. But sometimes, even with those simpler targets, we just don't gain any traction. I think that's because sometimes our goals are working against our family's needs. So today, I want to share how to set personal and professional goals that actually fit your very life as a mom. How you can factor your family into your personal growth equation and find balance between your goals and your family's needs. So warm up your coffee and make sure to pay attention. This one is going to be full of actionable information. Welcome to the Solve for Mom podcast. Do you love spending family time together every day but realize that your own interests have fallen to the wayside? Do you have a long list of things you wish to learn but you're so tired from trying to balance it all on your own and frustrated from not planning ahead to make it happen? Have you been mom for so long that you've lost track of who you are as an individual? Hi, I'm Anoki. I'm a PhD biomedical researcher, homeschooling mom, and life coach. I too poured myself into being a mom and thought I had to stop doing the things that I love to do. I was struggling to make time for myself, had lost my sense of direction, and kept second guessing myself. I wanted to take back control of my purpose and passions. But I kept telling myself there'll be plenty of time for that later. Until I did what was natural to me. Using the methods of a scientist, I created plans to prioritize my values, organize my time, and take action towards my goals. If you're ready to go questing for your purpose, level up your learning, and confidently pursue your passions while still being the awesome mama that you are, you're in the right place. In this complex equation we call life, it's time to sharpen our pencils and our minds and solve for mom. Okay, ladies, before we dive so deep into this episode, I just wanted to remind you that tomorrow is my free live workshop called Planning Time for Success. I know you're all super busy moms, and that's why I think you're going to find so much value in this. We all want the same thing, to organize our time so that we can do more of the things that we want without taking time from our families. So keep listening because I'm going to share more details right now. Hi, ladies. I know you're here because you really want to get your life together, but it just feels so overwhelming. See, I get it. You know that you need to find more time and plan your days out and get a little more organized so you're on top of things. But you're also thinking, I can't do this because it's going to take forever. It's so complicated and I'm already drowning here. So how am I going to find the time to do more things? Listen, guys, let me make this easy for you. I have a free Planning Time to Succeed workshop. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to figure out where your time is really going. We're going to align your time with your goals and actually create more room in your day for things that matter the most to you and the things that bring you joy. I promise you, no expensive planners, no digital apps with multiple logins, definitely no guilt trips for wanting more me time. Just practical step-by-step strategies that fit your life. You don't need to add more to your already full plate. What you need is to learn how to clear off your busy time clutter and make space for what actually matters. So in this workshop, we're going to do a simple time audit together to spot out what's working and what's not. I'm going to teach you how to define your version of success and set up your day to actually move toward it. And you're going to leave with clear next steps and one small action that you can take immediately to see progress. Let's just stop making our lives so much harder than it needs to be. Instead, let's use a plan that's simple, strategic, and actually doable. I would be so honored if you joined me for this live event on Tuesday, March 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the Planning Time to Succeed workshop. Oh, and did I mention there's going to be a fun door prize? Of course, the real prize is that you're going to walk away feeling so much lighter, more confident, and ready to take back control of your days. So it's time to plan for your success. Register now using the link in the show notes and save your seat. I can't wait to hang out with you. A while back, I was offered the opportunity to work on this new project at work. And I was really excited at the thought of this because I'd be learning a lot of new skills and expand my capabilities. Now, you might know that I care very deeply about the quality of the work that I put out. Most of the things that I'm good at haven't really come from natural talent. I actually work really hard for the success that I have. I have a strong work ethic, I'm really disciplined and focused, and take the time to pay attention to details. So once I started to dive into this project, I noticed that it was pulling me away from my family. I was missing out on whole weekends and so many fun things. My husband would take my kids out for a fun activity, and I noticed that when they'd come back home, I just couldn't stop hugging them because I missed them so much. Now, in the end, I did a great job on this project, so I should have been really happy because I kind of climbed the top of this personal development mountain, but I actually wasn't as fulfilled as I thought I would be. See, when we become moms, more dimensions are added to our identity. And I often talk about honing in on our individuality and not losing our authentic selves, which can happen to so many of us moms. Because we take on so many roles as moms, we cannot and should not uniformly address one facet of who we are, like I once did with my career. If I just develop the scientist side of me, then that's going to probably be at the detriment of my being a wife or a mom. And now I know that after several experiences. So if we take all the roles that we have and we were to put them in some sort of organizational structure like you would have at a company, our roles as being part of a family, often being the leader of a family, should be somewhere near the top of that organizational pyramid. And that's because having a healthy family is so important for society in general. Families, in essence, are the building blocks of society. And when we focus on our family strengths, we're actually promoting the health of our family and its sustainability. And so as we're setting our personal goals, we should factor family into this personal growth equation, both for the health of our families, but also for the success of our goals, so that they're both aligned. And it may feel impossible, but now I'm going to tell you how to do this. And I'm going to do this by addressing the two biggest barriers that moms face when trying to find balance between their personal goals and family priorities. So the first set of strategies are going to address your awareness of your family's identity. And the second set of strategies are family-centered time management strategies. So the first one is to ask, what are your roles? Now, I already talked a little bit about this, but one of the reasons that we moms struggle so much is because we take on so many roles. I'm a wife and a mother, but it doesn't stop there. I'm also a daughter and a friend and a career professional and a community member. I talk about how achievements in one part of your life can expand to other parts of your life, and that is true. But it's also true that your time and energy spent on only one part of your life does end up taking time and energy from other parts of your life. So we have to be strategic in how we do this. We have to be cognizant of our various roles and make sure that we're not unbalanced in the time and energy we spend on them, especially the ones that are of the highest priority to us. Now, for most of us, our families are that top priority, and I explained to you earlier as to why. The second thing to ask is, what are your family's core values and priorities? Before you set any goals, you should try to define what matters most to your family, because your goals are going to need to align with the elements that are part of your family's brand identity. If not, you're going to feel pulled in two different directions. So you would do this exactly the same way you would do for yourself with life planning. You're going to define your family's values and priorities and preferences and purpose. In her book, Wild and Free Family, Ainsley Arment talks about family culture. And she says that family culture is your values and vision, interests, traditions, all wrapped into one. And that your family culture starts with a vision. And that's going to be a picture of what you want it to be. And that vision's what's going to guide your decisions that you make and set the boundaries of what you will not do. This family culture reflects the unique personalities and passions that we have as a family. So if we want to be part of this family culture that we've intentionally created, we have to live with the values of our family. And that's true even for the personal goals that we pursue. So for example, if limiting screen time is a family priority of yours, then you're not going to want to start a passion project that requires you to put your kids on screens for several hours straight. And just to be clear, I'm not saying that you can't pursue your goals and passion projects because they conflict. That usually just means you have to restructure it in some way. And you might have to get creative. Perhaps you can lean on a babysitter, or maybe you can find another way to practice your craft. You just have to find a way that doesn't violate your family's needs. The next thing to ask is, what does success look like for your family? Remember, success can be defined in so many different ways, and it can look different for each of us. And don't forget that for moms, our goals can often be measured quantitatively and qualitatively. So, for example, success in my family is when we do things in the real world and create memories together, rather than using virtual games and screens as an escape. And we do this with quality family time, like having dinners together, and we have discussions that help us understand each other better. And sometimes we even play fun dinner table games. anything that just brings us closer. When you're setting your goals, just make sure that your personal success doesn't work against your family's definition of success. So here's some questions to help you get started. Will this goal enhance or hurt my family life? Can I realistically commit to this goal right now? If I say yes to this goal, what am I saying no to? So here's another example from my personal life. I've passed up on several job opportunities because traveling would pull me away from my family. So instead, I've adjusted my financial goals in order to sustain a more flexible work-at-home setup. Again, the choices that each of us will make and the weight that we place on certain things will differ. However, in the end, you just want to make sure that your goals are the right fit for not just you, but also your family. So then you want to check whether it's possible to integrate your family with your goals. And there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can find family-friendly goals. So for example, one of my goals is to maintain a clean home. And to help me, I teach my kids how to do this. In this way, they are helping me with my goal, and I'm helping them enrich their lives by building basic life skills. Another way to combine family and goals is to blend them together. So, for example, I like to garden, and my younger son really likes playing with rocks and dirt and watching bugs. When I'm with him and in charge of his care, instead of giving up on my goal to be out in the garden, I take him with me. He's not helping me with gardening, but we're still spending time together, connecting, and he's getting to do what he loves and I'm getting to do what I love. And later, my kids actually help me cook with the things that we harvest. Okay, so the last 3 strategies all involve managing time with family in mind. So the first tip is to work around your non-negotiables. So as part of your non-negotiables, you have to think about your family's priorities and your own personal needs. Schedule those 2 things in first before you start adding in work and personal goals. And it really helps to finish life planning first for yourself and for your family before you move on to these time management tips. Now, I used to think that I had to choose whether I wanted to be good at my job or be a good mom. But what I discovered is that if I want to be successful at work, I need to have time when I can be fully present for my family. And so by identifying my non-negotiables and blocking some time for my family and for my self-care, I'm then free to pursue my goals at work and elsewhere without any guilt. So for example, if I'm working on homeschooling with my kids, this is their time and my time to be fully present with them. I'm going to make sure that my own personal pursuits don't overlap and cut into this time. I even try not to answer phone calls or respond to work texts or emails at this point. Then you want to make sure you're creating an adaptable schedule. Now this is a big one because we know that the reality of a mom life is often antithetical to consistency and flow. But there certainly are ways. And as a busy mom or a work-at-home mom, you really need to have a flexible routine. And unexpected things can really add a kink to your plans. And I know some of you are thinking, well, Anoki, you're always talking about planning ahead. Isn't that a sort of rigid way to set a schedule? How is that flexible? Well, I also suggest building in flexibility because we have to account for all those unexpected things. Now, they can be difficult situations like somebody getting sick for a few days, or they can even be happy unexpected things, like maybe your child's soccer team makes it to the finals. And as exciting as that is and you want to celebrate, you also have to account for these extra games. Well, you know how it goes. So here's how to have an adaptable schedule. You're going to build in buffer times and create backup plans. You're going to expect that there's going to be interruptions and then plan extra time for them. I always put in buffers into my weekly time blocks. Every time I plan my week, I know that there's the potential that something might derail it. And so I always integrate 1 to 2 buffers. Now, that's not a daily occurrence, but for the duration of the week, I will have something in place that can be either my catch-up time or makeup or rollover time. And this is a way to sort of pad your schedule. But to do this effectively, you have to have a good handle on what your tasks are overall and how long each task is going to take. And that process might take a little bit of refinement, but the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And so I do suggest time blocking as a way to manage time, and I have a very clean, simple way to teach this. So check out my Balanced Mom coaching program. I coach you through all of my time management and productivity tips that I've been using for 15 years as a scientific consultant. That said, if you're having trouble with time blocking and you're not ready for coaching, here are some other things that can help. Sometimes it helps to use a weekly rhythm instead of a strict daily schedule. And so you can do this by thinking about all the tasks that have to happen in a week instead of a day and organizing it that way. I find that this takes a little bit of pressure off on your day-to-day. Another thing you can try is to theme your days so that you're batching your tasks that are related for one day of the week and then moving on to another set of tasks that fit a different theme on another day of the week. So those were all ways that you can find a little more flow and build in some flexibility to your schedule. The last thing I want to share is that you should choose goals that create time freedom, not more hustle in your life. You want to focus on systems that you can kind of scale up, like if you think of a business, and that don't require you to constantly be working. So first off, your basic tasks, whether they're part of your personal growth or not, if these are tasks that have to be done, they should either be automated, delegated, or simplified as much as possible. This is kind of an always thing. Okay, but beyond basic tasks, for bigger goals, you're going to have to decide which goals offer you more family time. So for example, I value financial freedom, and it's a goal of mine. And I've always been proud of the fact that I managed my money well, and I paid off my student loans all on my own. I came into my marriage as a financial contributor. But over the years as a mom, I have intentionally chosen to pass up on things that would improve my financial freedom, like an upgrade in my pay, because I didn't want to trade in time with my family for a higher paying job. And even now, here I am building a business, but I'm doing it in a very family conscious way, where I'm not going to be spending time on social media and things that have a low ROI for me personally. Instead, I'm trying to build offers that allow a more passive stream of income because I want to find ways that I can earn money even while I spend time with my family, and also so I can spend time with my family. So as you're working on your goals, you just want to check in and be aware. How is it affecting your family's time, energy, mood, mental well-being? Like, is it creating more stress and anxiety, or are you able to do this with relative peace and calmness? Are your goals taking you away from your family or causing you to shuffle your kids around at the exact moments that you're trying to connect with your family? Okay, so to wrap up, I just want to make the point that at no time have I suggested that you actually give up on your personal goal. I'm trying to show you that there's a way for you to keep your family's priorities and preferences and values in the forefront of your mind as you pursue your personal goals. And you can do this by planning your time in a family-centric way, and also by aligning success in your goals with success in your family. This is how you find balance between your own goals and family time. So to recap, we talked about 7 things. The 4 things related to forming a family identity and culture is to understand what your roles are. 2, know what your family's core values and priorities are. 3, define success for your family. 4, combine family and your goals. And then we have family-friendly time management strategies. So 5, work around your non-negotiables. 6, create an adaptable schedule. And 7, choose goals that create time freedom, not more hustle. And before I sign off, one more reminder. Tomorrow is my free live Planning Time for Success workshop. I'm super excited and I hope you can make it. Go to the show notes so you can find out how to register and get more details. And don't forget, even if you can't make it live, it's totally worth you signing up. You get my full-time audit workbook, and you're going to get the replay link as soon as the workshop is over so that you can view it at a time that's more convenient to you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. I hope today's episode will help you create time and freedom to pursue something you love to do. If you enjoy this show, please subscribe and tell other ambitious mamas about it. Who knows, you might even make a new friend by sharing a tip. It's all free. By the way, it would be amazing to hear what you think about the show when you leave a review. After all, my passion is to make this a great experience for you. Thank you for making my show a part of your day. I'll see you next week for another episode of the Solve for Mom podcast with Anoki Kapasi.